and it went. The park had already been created, but Recreational Clubs Unlimited, that was Don Jackson. He's the one that started this tennis thing, and he went from there.
Hi, I'm Laird Matthews. I live across the street from the tennis club and have so for 32 years and have been a member of the tennis club for 30 years. So I'm very familiar with the property, with the tennis club, and the whole 12 acres that we're desperately fighting to save yet once again for the 5th time in 25 years.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of this property?
Sure, it'd be my pleasure. In the early 70s, the builder, Chappelle Industries, wanted to make this into a park. And instead, a group by the name of Kimber Associates proposed to them that they create a tennis club. And the home builder said, well, we can do that, but you should know that the public who lives around this area wants to maintain an open site. So we'll allow you the opportunity to buy the property and to use 1/3 of it to create a tennis club and racket club and swim club. And then the other 2/3 should stay in a natural state forever. And that's part of the trust deed and the purchase agreement that goes with it. So over the last 25 years, as I mentioned earlier, we've seen now this is the 5th attempt to develop the property, when legally it should not and cannot be done. So the net of it is we're very tired, the homeowners and the city people and the 1,200 people who have signed our petition are very tired of people purchasing the club not to run a tennis club, but rather to get rid of the tennis club, or at best keep it as a trinket, and for the real purpose of being able to use the land to build homes. And then, of course, in doing so, there's more than 600 trees in this 12 acres, including beautiful redwoods, evergreens, oak trees, eucalyptus trees, even poplar trees and myrtle trees, that the current proposal from the person who wants, or the people who want to develop the property, says they're going to keep 600 of all of those classic trees, which I don't know how that would be done, given that they want to build anywhere from, who knows at this point, probably 13 to 30 homes.
There's actually quite a few kinds of wildlife. There were more types when there was still a pond back there, but we lost all the wetlands type of animals. But we still see, for mammals, we see deer, foxes, our main 2 big mammals. There's also coyote has been seen once or twice, but that's not a regular. I'd say most of the animals are in the bird family that are the more important ones. There's 3 kinds of hawks: the red-tailed, the red-shouldered, and the Cooper's hawk. And raptors are considered in the environmental impact studies. Raptors are one of the categories that is considered, so they're fairly important as well. They're not endangered. They're are considered kind of protected. There's owls, bats, which are both really good for the environment, catching rodents and mosquito abatement. There's a couple kinds of woodpeckers, red-shafted flickers, which is a kind of a woodpecker family. There's the scrub jays and the Steller's jays, the kestrel, which is a small sparrowhawk, which is also like a little mini raptor. And there's also the ones that are less to worry about, the turkeys, which we have zillions of that are there every day. And
but they're cute. Like when I go to school, I remember in elementary school.
Right. I mean, everybody.
I get to see them.
Right. Everyone loves seeing the turkeys. Right. And an interesting thing is that right across the street, not on this property, but in the property that Fremont owns, right across the street, is one of the spots where the birders count the birds every 2 or 3 months. You'll see the guy there counting. His cat comes and sits by him, and he counts all the different bird species. So
it's almost like an attraction, a community attraction.
Right. So it is an area that's known to have a lot of birds that would be greatly impacted by removing that whole natural area. There's actually quite a few of the native trees. They counted the trees as a preliminary to selling the property. They tagged 612 trees.
612 in this property.
Just on this property.
That could potentially be cut down for the homes.
Right. Although they say that they will keep all 612, which is virtually impossible.
Mark and Laura,
Yep.
and we've lived in the neighborhood for about
28 years now.
8 years.
Yep. This has always been a really special place, the woods here. It was really great. We had 3 boys growing up here, and it was just great having this kind of place for boys to grow up and run around and finding salamanders and having rope swings.
Tarantulas. They brought home tarantulas. That did not come in the house, though. That stayed outside. But they did. They played here. We both worked, and we both worked long and hard hours. We had really tough careers, and we could just go across the street and come over here, and the kids could run. My oldest was a little hyperactive, and in order to keep him under control, we would have him run. And we got a dog and run around the block, Paul, run around the block. And it was good because it helped him slow down enough so that we could do the things we needed to do in the evening, and he would run around the block.
Yeah, that's kind of, you're in the middle of the city, but you're not. You kind of walk around here and you feel like you're in Tahoe or something. Then we just walk across the street and we're home.
We did
it's
have,
really nice.
We had one day that Paul and probably 5 of his friends came home covered in mud, soaked to the skin in their mud, just soaked all the way through their clothes. They found that with cardboard they could slide up and down the hills over in here. I wouldn't let them in the house. They had to, I gave them towels and stuff. They had to change in the garage because they were such a mess. But they were beaming. They had so much fun. And there's not too many places in Fremont where you can do that. Fremont had the foresight with Lake Elizabeth and with Quarry Lakes to have some open spaces that were left more natural. And this place, when they did this development, leaving this as open space as a natural setting so that the kids can see animals, the deer. Just the other day, walking home, I heard something behind me and I stopped, and I was face to face with a young deer. Stopped, and we just stared at each other for a short amount of time, and then it just took off.
Mm-hmm.
Where else in Fremont can you do that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is a special area for the community. For me, I live right across the street. For me, this is a haven. I've made a lot of friends here. It's a community in a sense. This is where we get together to discuss what the next election is going to be all about. We talk about who's going to represent it. We talk about the city, the state, all these important aspects of the community. This is where my children learned how to play tennis. This is where they met some of their friends from high school and associate after school. It's a place for them to go in a residential environment and be safe. I fear that once we lose this, that it not only will become just another residential area, and there will be nothing left for the kids of this area where they can go and learn these skills. And at a time when we don't have enough facilities for young kids, we're just going to throw them out. And this is a very large community, and I think that that's going to be a big danger to the students. I personally like it because it's quiet. You're in the middle of a city. You're able to relax, walk along the park, back trails. That's where I do my running. Be able to play tennis if you're a tennis player. I'm not. And of course swim.
Why is this property special to you?
Well, as you look around, it's one of the few areas in all of the Bay Area, unless you're up into the hills, that's a natural environment. And as I mentioned, all of the fabulous trees that are here. In addition to that, the wildlife, the turkeys and the other birds and the fox and the deer. I mean, it's just a natural environment. My wife and I, over the 32 years, have looked at other housing tracts, as you might imagine, and every time we do so, we don't see anything as unique as we have here in Kimber Woods. So for us, it's been a terrific place to raise our kids, who are both adults now, enjoy tennis and the camaraderie with other homeowners and tennis club members. And it's just a shame to see, once again, more speculators coming in deciding that they'd rather they'd rather earn money and ruin the lifestyle of an entire community.
When I moved here 14 years ago, this was kind of one of the first things that we joined and became a part of. And besides getting to know people through the children at school, this is where I've really formed all of my friendships. And we get together and play tennis 3 or 4 times a week. We work out together in the morning. We have our little parties here when someone has a birthday or an anniversary or any occasion. And we've held graduation parties here, swim parties. And because it is a smaller club, it's just a really family feel. You can't get that at a big generic kind of club sport or 24-hour fitness, or even over at the tennis courts at the Fremont Tennis Center. It's just not the same. And we would really, really miss that if it was gone.
Tennis courts are really